What up, Ty Cromwell? Tune in to the Iceman Show podcast. More bounce to the ounce, and I say what counts. Don't nobody go home till the fat man gets it in. What's happening, chocolate people? What's crack-a-lacking? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I am your host, the Iceman, a.k.a. Howard Johnson's, a.k.a. Scotty Pimpin', a.k.a. Eddie Kane Jr. Can you dig it? Wanted to go ahead and get started because it's getting a little late, and I know some of my folks on the East Coast, they're winding down. They about ready to hit the hay. So I wanted to go ahead and get it popping before it get too late. Thanks for the donation, Ty Cromwell. Appreciate it, brother. Love you, man. Thanks for having the brothers back. This is $5 Donation Tuesday. All donations made today are 100% tax deductible. And come year 2020, you can print out your PayPal statement, take that to your tax professional, and hopefully you'll get a bigger refund, tax refund, come 2020 for 2019. But we're here trying to wait a little while for the family to get in the house, but we're going to have to go ahead and get started because, again, I don't want to go too late. I know cats got other things they need to do. Cats got their families they got to tend to. Cats is getting off work. So if you're at the house and it's just you and your girl or you and your man, kick back, put your feet up, grab your libation, or go ahead and roll your little something. Hey, that's between you and your maker. But come on in the house and ride with the Iceman. Can you dig it? Just got back, drove up north to go take care of some things. And so I drove up there 100 and something miles and then drove 100 and something miles back. I'm surprised I'm sitting here. I'm surprised I'm even thinking about doing this show, because at first I was thinking of not doing the show today, and then I was like, nah, let me go ahead because I got some things on my mind that I want to share with you all, as well as sharing your thoughts. If you have any questions or any statements you want to make, you want me to read on the air, go ahead and post them in the chat room. You're welcome to ask questions. I'm not looking for sycophants. This is not about, you agreeing with me. If you don't agree with me, that's fine. I'm not going, I'm not here to, I'm diplomatic. I ain't that kind of person that I'm just looking for people that agree with or believe what I believe. Because what if you disagree, but yet you got a solution? Yet I don't have a solution. You see how we move forward together? So that's the deal here. Post your questions or concerns in the chat room, and I will read them accordingly. Got a lot of stuff popping off in these United Snakes of America. Particularly as the continued and concentrated attacks on Black men, women, and children. We have to be vigilant and we have to keep our heads on a swivel. This is why having a boyfriend or a husband around a significant amount of time, not just when you want to get not just when you want somebody to lift something heavy for you, or you want somebody to give you some money so you can pay your light bill, your water bill. But also for protection, because a man who you're in a relationship with is more likely to protect you than a man who don't know you. You understand, sisters? If you're at a Target parking lot and some dude is laying hands on you, a guy who is not your man is less likely to intervene, because what if this guy's got a gun? He ain't gonna shoot you and me. You digs? If he got any sense, he'd be like, "No, you go ahead and shoot that bitch. I'm gonna be over here behind this Tahoe." You digs? That's just how it works. But I'm quite sure you guys are aware of the horrible death of the sister down in Baytown, Texas, which is right outside of Houston. Horrible situation. Another race soldier posing as a cop. And I want to focus on something real quick about that situation, because a lot of black women are really in their feelings about this one compared to some of these other shootings. This one, or killing of a black person, innocent black person, this has rubbed black women the wrong way for a lot of reasons. I don't understand why this is the first one that really rubbed sisters the wrong way, because all of them should rub you the wrong way, as particularly the situations where a black child was killed, like my man Trayvon Martin, Michael Brown, Tamir Rice, the young brother in Detroit that got murdered on an ATV by Michigan State Police. And guess what the reason was that the cop gave in court during his trial? The reason why he killed him. He said he shot this innocent young man because he act like he didn't hear him. And he was acting cocky. That was what I'm paraphrasing what he said. Thank God that jury put him in jail put him in prison for over 10 years. That's a case that a lot of people don't know about. I posted that on this Facebook page. I think I mainly posted it on my other Facebook page about that case, because a lot of brothers were like, "Man, I ain't heard about this case." I said, "Well, I just happened to be on Yahoo News, because the cop had got like 12. They gave him like 14 years." You digs? Appreciate it, Monstar 86. Appreciate it, man. Thanks for the support, brother. We always got my back. Appreciate it, brother. But what is really rubbing black women the wrong way is when she's in the video of whoever, I don't know who recorded it, what brother or sister, I don't know. They never said their names. I haven't seen nobody's name. I mean, if you guys know of a name, then, post it in the chat room, but I ain't heard no name. Anyway, what's really rubbing sisters the wrong way is when he said, well, when she said to the police officer, I'm pregnant. And it seemed that it made the race soldier posing as a police officer even more angry. And it is at that time that he pulled out his service pistol and shot this woman and killed her. What a, you know, you know, and the reason why a lot of sisters in their feelings about that situation is because I think a lot of black women don't understand white supremacy. A lot of black women don't understand white supremacy because a lot of black women have been spoiled, especially when it comes to if they want to, you know, be against a black man in whatever capacity, they're used to getting the support of the dominant society. But on this one, they realize the viciousness and the violence of white supremacy, and it's starting to register now that, hey, what these black men keep talking about all the time, particularly on social media, about black people coming together, we got to cut this nonsense out, and black women have to drop, you know, drop the torch of white feminism. Now I'm starting to see why these guys are talking about this stuff. Well, we're not doing it for our health. We're trying to warn you that the people you think are your buddies and the people who have helped you screw over black men in family court and divorce court and child support, and well, I said child support court, and all other courts of whatever, or court of public opinion, to turn the tide against black men. Now you see that they are just as vicious and violent against you. And you being pregnant, it actually stimulates more evilness out of them. You have to understand, during slavery, to get the slaves in line, they would go and get a pregnant black slave, stand her out in the middle of all the black folks on the plantation, cut her uterus open, and pull the unborn baby out. They used to do that for fun. Most of the OBGYN medical techniques or medicine was based on them doing experiment and exploratory surgery on black women without anesthesia. And these are the people you want to align yourself with against black men? Well, when you fall on your face and you end up being met with the full weight of white supremacy, I hope you get all the weight they're offering you. And I hope you realize that you've made a grave mistake. Your being pregnant or not pregnant is not going to save you from the violence and the hand of white supremacy. It's not going to stop you. It's not going to protect you, black woman. And all the evil that you've been doing to black men for the past 40 years, and particularly the last 10, especially, those chickens are going to come home to roost. As a matter of fact, they're already coming home to roost. And that's why I've been trying to get to sisters and say, hey, you need to wake up, because buying a Hermes bag or having a 6-figure income is not going to stop white supremacy from harming you. And if they know you have no man, you're even more susceptible to violence from one of them. Every time you go in your apartment or every time you go in your house and they don't never see no man over there, because you know white folks are nosy. They don't never see no man going in there. That's the first thing I notice when I see a woman. She ain't never got no man with her. Not that I want to do anything, but that's how, I'm just taking account of the people I live around. So if they don't see you with a man, and I see it, but I'm not here to threaten your safety. I could care less whether you live or die. But the thing that I want to impress upon you is if I notice and I'm not up to no good, what do you think the men who are up to no good are seeing? They're seeing an opportunity to get at you because your bitch ass kids ain't gonna stop them. Your little feminized sons ain't gonna stop them. Remember, you didn't want the father to be in their life or to be with their kids every day because you wanted to get that you wanted to make sure you got that child support check. Well, now that you're alone, guess what? If I see you, there's no man that's there regularly. Yeah, you may have some dude you messing with, but that don't count. He don't live there. So what you think's gonna happen? Particularly white males who are up to no good. They're like, oh, there's no man lives over there. Okay, I can go over there and murder her, rape and murder her ass, and nobody'll know. Do you know how many times that shit happens and those cases never see the light of day? Or we never hear about these cases? Because it might take 20 years to solve it. Might take longer than that. There's a lot of cold cases that just got solved from the damn 60s. And the bad thing about it, the persons who are responsible are dead. They can't even take this person to trial. So they got to do what they call an indictment in absentia, or seek a posthumous conviction. That way they can close the case. They don't normally go that far, but sometimes they do that. It just might be a closed door proceeding, and it might just be a bench decision from the judge, and the judge will be like, give me 3 weeks. Me and my staff are gonna go over this, all the evidence and everything, and then I'm gonna give you my fine. I'm gonna render a decision in this case. So, ladies, when you walk around here talking about I don't need no man and black men ain't shit and this, that, and the other and the third, what you fail to realize is that you might be that next person who ends up getting raped and murdered because you don't need no black man. Black men ain't shit. I remember my mom saying a long time ago when I was a kid, my mom said, it ain't safe for no woman to live alone. Now, if my mom was saying stuff like that back in the 70s, what? But you being pregnant is not going to stop one of these race soldiers or one of these Caucasian race vigilantes from laying hands on you or shooting you or stabbing you. Shit just got real, didn't it? See, no matter what, we need each other. Whether you want to, whether you agree with me or not, one thing you can't discount is that Black women, you can't survive without us. You can't survive without us. You could talk, a job ain't gonna protect you. See, this is where a man comes in hand. This is why if 1,000 Black men went out here and decided they was gonna wreak havoc on white women, they'd have that shit squashed in a day. You know why? Because white men ain't gonna let no other race of men or even their own men raise too much hell too long. They might let a white man, run roughshod through a community, raping and killing, especially if it's lower middle class or low income class. But if it's an upper middle class and above community, they're gonna have his ass by supper. They're going to have that white dude in cuffs. Because they know in a community like that, they ain't going to be able to get away with not doing their job like they normally do. And that's not a slap against all police officers. But let's be honest. Most police officers, most of them don't do any work. Now, if they're in a major metropolitan area, yeah, you earn every penny of that pay. But some of these cats in the suburbs, please. The only time they even mix it up with the public is when they see a Black guy drive or a Black woman drive through their neighborhood, and here they go pulling your ass over, and then they trying to start some shit so they can have an excuse to put a bullet in your head. That's usually how that works. But it's sad that a lot of sisters have to get their wake-up call with this Baytown, Texas case. It's sad. Because in your mind, you thought, hey, I'm in a post-racial society. Because I've had Black women say to me, hey, we just had a Black president. I said, yeah, he looked Black. That don't mean he is Black. You digs? Just because somebody is skin folk don't mean they kin folk. Because if you really did your research on Obama, you would know that he was a white man in blackface. Let's look at his background. Mama white. Grew up with around his grandparents. All white neighborhood. Picked a racist for his vice president. He picked one of the most anti-Black Democrats he can find for a running mate. Somebody who's going around the country today bragging about how he's proud of the 1994 crime bill that created the private prison complex industry, locked millions of Black men and women, mostly Black men, away for long periods of time. Unscrupulous, long, lengthy prison terms for minimal crimes or crimes that mainly Blacks commit. Now, after all that analysis, now you see he was just black in concept alone. But he wasn't a black man. That's why he was in office for 8 years and didn't do a damn thing. And you seem to be happy with that. Now you're going to vote for his vice president for president. But black women are now starting to get the memo. You're starting to understand what and listen to what a lot of these brothers are saying, that you are in danger if you're a single mom. You're in danger. You're not just from black men who want to do harm to you, but all men, and especially and particularly Caucasian men. I remember back in the 80s, whenever I dated somebody who lived alone, it was like, can you just come by sometime and just sit in front of my house? And I'm like, no, because I don't want you thinking I'm stalking you. I'll be hearing stuff and I'm up all night. I'm like, I can't be, look, you live on the other side of town. I ain't driving all the way over there. I got to go to work. See, today women are cocky and under the impression that the police are going to come as soon as they put the receiver down. That's not how it works. You don't know what that police officer is doing or what that dispatcher is doing when you call. You digs? But I hope that black people are looking at this Baytown, Texas case and realizing that these race soldiers are not playing. They don't care nothing about killing your mama. They don't care nothing about killing your sister. They don't care nothing about killing a pregnant woman. They've been killing pregnant black women for hundreds of years, for 500 years. You just don't know your history. And you choose to not know your history. And this is not Hotep talk or pro-black talk. This is, you need to know your history talk. What dumbass wants to exist and not know where he or she came from before slavery? That's why a lot of black folks, see, that's why they purposely teach that slavery was some kind of job training program. And that it was, and they teach slavery in school to make black folks think that we should be beholden to white folks. We should be appreciative to white people because look, they allowed us to get out of slavery. When we weren't slaves before that. They don't want to tell you about your history that existed before slavery. Because if you might get a little bit, you might get too big for your britches. You might get a little too much confidence and start acting like an uppity nigga. See, when you teach somebody, so you have to understand about lying. These people, all they do is lie. And you know what they say? One thing about lying, when you tell somebody the perfect lie, the truth is unbelievable to most people because you've been lied to your whole life. You've been told you're ugly. You've been told your nappy hair is ugly. You've been told your wide nose is ugly. You've been told your big lips is ugly. Been told that your hourglass body is ugly. Your bubble ass is ugly. And then they turn right around and get collagen pumped into their lips, get their nose fixed, get their chin fixed, get boob jobs that look ridiculous, and then now they getting hydro shock asses, getting ass injections, and the ass look like Franken booty. They look like Franken booty. You ever see these Hispanic women or these Caucasian women that get these butt injections or get these butt surgeries? They look horrible. They don't look natural. They look ridiculous. Black women don't look like that. That shit is ugly. They look like freaks. But I guess at the same time, they would rather look like that than have a carpenter's dream ass, a flat pancake ass, and a flat chest, and a ugly ass fucking mug. I guess that's an improvement, huh? What fool wants to exist on this planet and not know where he or she came from? And if you hear any of these fools out here telling you that we don't need to know our history, you slap the shit out that motherfucker. You got fools out here you got black fools out here know more about the damn Queen James Bible than they know about their goddamn history. That's why you don't know how to take care of yourself. You don't know how to eat right. You don't take care of yourself. And then you go into these Western doctors trying to get well, and all they want to do is cut on you so they can get paid. Love thyself. Loving your black self. See, whenever you hear Sambos and mammies say, "Oh, that's Imhotep, that's Hotep talk," or they come on these Hotep niggas, that's an ignorant person, and they're dangerous to you. Because if you get turned off and you don't have no desire to learn who you are as a black person and learn that you live in a black diaspora, not the other way around. Now, you don't live in a white diaspora, you live in a black one. And once you start thinking beyond borders, I'm talking, when I say borders, I mean like geographical borders. Once you get out of that mindset and you open your mind up to being the black man or woman that God wants you to be, and you start expanding your knowledge, you realize that you start learning that love for self. See, the most dangerous black woman and black man on the planet ain't a black man or a black woman holding the AR-15. It's the black man and woman who knows their history and loves thy black self. You're dangerous because whenever they come to you and start calling you a nigger and start saying you're dumb and you're ignorant and all that, you don't get upset. You don't get emotional. And then you turn around, look them in the eye and say, no, you're a nigger. Because God doesn't even recognize you. That's how much of a nigger you are. That's why you don't never see me kiss white people's asses, even white cops. When I get pulled over, I'm just like, hey man, you gonna give me a ticket? Give me a ticket, motherfucker. I'll pay the shit. I got the money to pay it. Ain't kissing your ass. God didn't put all this intelligence in my head for me to walk around here kissing somebody's ass. He didn't build me like that. And he didn't build you that way. You just choose to act a certain way out of fear. Let me explain something to you. If white folks woke up and realized that they had to depend on black people for their daily bread, the way a lot of us depend on them for our jobs and public assistance, they kill themselves. They kill themselves because there's no way in hell they would put up with what we put up with for an hour, let alone 5 minutes. I'll give you an example. I was dating this Caucasian chick, and we went to a cheesecake factory after we left the movie. I don't know what movie we saw, but the theater's like on the other side of the mall, and this cheesecake factory is in the parking lot, but way on the other side of the parking lot, but on the same block as the mall is on. And so we get in the car, we drive around, and so on a Saturday, Cheesecake Factory be packed. Because you probably tried to go to one in your city. It's always packed, especially on the weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday afternoon, forget about it. But we in, how you go in there and it's so many people waiting in the waiting room, and they take your name and write your name. Back then they were still writing your name down, but they gave you the little beeper thing too. So me and this, this chick I'm dating, they told us it was gonna be, a minute. So I don't know if we went in the mall and then went to the mall and then came back. I don't know what we did, but we probably was gone about 15 minutes and we came back. Somehow or another, they got to us faster than they thought they would. And they called our name. And when me and this chick got up from the seat to approach one of the hosts, she looked right at us, looked us up and down, and went right over to some white folks and was like, are you such and such, such and such? I'm looking at my list right here. And the chick I was with, she walked over there to old girl and was like, did you just ignore us? We just said that you called our name. We said that that's us. What are you doing? And she was just like, I didn't ignore you. She had an attitude. And I guarantee she had and so the chick I was with she was hot. She was hotter than a black person being accused of stealing out the goddamn store. She was like, she said, I need to talk to your manager. Yeah, I was the one saying, we ain't got to do all that, girl. It's just because we was having a good day. The date was going good. The movie went good and was, going, get something to eat and get some drinks or whatever. And I told her, I said, ain't that serious, man? I deal with this shit all the time from them. So when we sat down, she was like, I can't believe. So the manager came over and she explained what happened. And the manager was like, oh, I'll take care of it. And she said, I can't believe they did that. I said, I deal with this shit every day. Welcome to my world. This is what Black people deal with every day. This kind of indifference. She couldn't take it 5 minutes. But they expect you to take it your whole goddamn life. And some of you have no problem dealing with that kind of nonsense. You have no problem being disrespected because that's what you expect. But I guarantee you won't take that same disrespect from another Black person. But if it's Charlie doing it or his woman doing it, you'll take it all day with a smile. Loving yourself is a process that has to take place over time. We, as a society, America's society is not healthy. America's society is not healthy. And the way one indication of it being unhealthy is how these children deal with living in this country. It used to be when I was a kid, being a kid was fun. Today, not so much. There's so many perverts out here because the police are reactionary and not proactive, and especially and because a lot of the perverts and pedophiles and violent individuals some of them happen to have guns and badges, they're less likely to investigate their own due to not wanting to be embarrassed and wanting white people to feel free. And unencumbered. Well, Caucasian people are realizing that they ain't free either. And that they can be subjected to some of the same violence that from their own people that their people have been exacting on us for 500 years. And because they can't take it, now they're complaining about it. Well, welcome to the club. Welcome to the club. But loving your Black, this is not about, I'm not talking about just loving, because you can't love yourself and not love your color. Okay, anybody that says that they don't see color and that color is not important to them, they're a lie. They're a lie. They're a liar. They're a liar. Don't ever believe nobody that say they don't see color. You can't love yourself and not love the whole self. And a lot of us have a color identity problem because you see so much evilness directed to Black people. you have grown hateful of yourself. You see this a lot with dark-skinned blacks, but all hues of blacks deal with this self-hate at one level or another. You digs? So if you if you say you love yourself, but your color identity is not part of that love, then that person's either ignorant or they're lying. You dig? You have to love the whole self. And if you learn to understand white supremacy and systemic racism, and you study your history like I have, and you realize that the reason why we are mistreated is not because of our phenotype. And it has nothing to do with that. And you realize they hate you or they hate and want to exact violence against you. The reason they want to do that is because they're jealous of you and they want what you have, whether it's resources or your ability or your intellect. Because contrary to what you believe, Caucasian people are not that smart. They're not that smart. Everything that you have studied when you were an undergrad or grad student in college, all of that information was stolen from Africa. All of it, particularly STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. Well, what about aeronautical engineering? They stole that from Africa too. There are hieroglyphics of aircraft on the walls in the pyramids. You don't believe me? Do your research. Where do you think that air balloon technology comes from? That comes from the Africans who migrated to Central America and what's known as Mexico. Those pyramids have pictures of balloons on the walls. This sound like Hotep talk to you? Black folks, you need to get off that Christianity based, you trying to apply Christianity to everything. Oh, they hate us because they're ignorant. Oh, they're white people are not ignorant. They're just evil and hellish. And I'm not saying all of them are that way. But we know the white supremacist is, oh, they hate us because they don't know Jesus. Get the fuck out of here. You interjecting some white character in a made-up story. to apply to a problem like what you're dealing with as a black person in America. That's your way of dealing with it. Sounds like a coping mechanism more so than anything. You wonder why somebody asked me not too long ago, hey, Ice, how come black folks are always getting hoodwinked by white people? I said, for the simple stuff I'm talking about right now. You don't want to learn. You think all you are is an ex-slave. You think all your lineage only goes back to 18 something or 17 something or 16 something. When your people have been on this earth for millions of years and that Caucasian has only been on this earth for 7,000 years and you're letting him hoodwink you. You letting him outthink you. I just read, I get these alerts on my phone, on my iPhone, from the New York Times, a couple other publications. And a story popped up that mainly affluent Caucasian parents apply for a 504 exemption. With a 504 exemption, is saying you got some type of disability, whether it be learning or whatever. So if you can go to a doctor, a psychiatrist, or a psychologist, a PhD psychologist, and get a letter saying that this child has depression, or they have something else, or they got some type of learning disability, the SAT people will give you extra time. Why do these kids need extra time when they're getting the best education possible and they're upper middle class? You know why? Because they cheat. And this situation with those actresses and all those other people, actually it was about 750 people who got caught up in that case. But the actresses got more press because of who they are, because we know who they are. And it's a fat story. You know damn good and well Felicity Huffman and Lori Loughlin are multi-millionaires, and they have enough money. Their kids probably went to boarding school, not just private school, but the top boarding schools in the country. And yet they still trying to cheat. Dude, you haven't begun to understand how these people think, which is how we end up getting hoodwinked on a daily basis. Uncle Joe Biden, old slow Joe, can sit here and tell you with one hand, he'll sit up and tell you, hey, I'm a Democrat, vote for me. I'm your best option, black man, black woman. And then on the other hand, tell you to your face that I supported the 1994 crime bill that has led to unfair incarceration of black men, but some black women too, have destroyed black families, has been a war on black people, destroyed all these black people's lives, and he unapologetically is grinning in your face telling you he's your best option. And you don't slap the shit out of him and tell him to go to hell. I ain't voting for you. That's why black people keep getting hoodwinked. Joe Biden, one of his best friends was racist ass Strom Thurmond. That was his boy. Now, if Joe Biden's supposed to be so progressive and so racist, then why was he best friends with former Senator Strom Thurmond, who used to rape his black housekeeper, end up having a daughter by her, who died a few years ago. I think she died a couple of years ago. Probably about 4 or 5 years ago, she passed away. But she kept that secret to her deathbed because she didn't want nobody knowing who her father was and how she came to be. She was embarrassed because we both know he was raping her. He wasn't asking for that pussy. He was taking it, as most white men from his era did. There's pictures of Joe Biden and Strom Thurmond cheesing it up in pictures, hugged up. And this is a guy you plan on voting for next year? Good luck with them shits. Because I ain't voting for his ass. You can go ahead and act like a slave if you want to. Because that's what slaves do. They get told the truth, get shown the truth, but then they go and just do dumb shit that slaves do. But black people who want to stay a lifetime membership to Sambo magazine and Mammy magazine, those are the black folks who talk about this is Hotep talk. Oh, you just one of the more Fruit of Islam niggas. I ain't Fruit of Islam. But I used to hang out with them dudes. And they real brothers. You wish you could be one of them. But loving your black self is something that a lot of people struggle with, because a lot of people in their mind, they like, hey, they either try to denounce their blackness and run from it, or they try to or they try to join somebody else's race group, trying to co-opt somebody else's culture and somebody else's race because you are ashamed of being black. You know, my dad struggles with that. But just because you came through Jim Crow ain't no excuse. Because I came along doing Jim Crow too. And that's why I act the way I act today. I'm not scared of people. I don't live my life in fear. And I'm not going to depend on somebody else to put food on my table. I'm going to put food on my own damn table. I ain't going to put my life, my livelihood in the hands of some white person at a job. And don't hate on me because I don't have to do that. I believe in myself. I have confidence in my abilities. You can't teach that. I wish I knew this stuff 30 years ago. But women really struggle. Black women really struggle with identity and all of and body image and stuff like that, because you're constantly being attacked on a daily basis. You're being attacked. You're getting called ugly every minute of the day by these Caucasian women or these Hispanic women or these Asian women. Yet none of them, even combined, they don't look as good as you do on your worst day. But yet here they go, here they are hating on you and talking about you. I know, because I've been involved in workplace drama. And I seen how all the Caucasian women will gang up on the black women. But yet you black women want to hate us. We all you got. CMB, baby, CMB. The only reason why white females try to grin in black women's faces is because they want something. Short term or long term. Some white women will start cheesing in your face because they want to start hanging around you so they can meet some black men. Or in the case of these feminists, these white feminist groups, they co-opt and bring black women and post them up in the front of the camera because we're known for protesting and marching. They ain't known for that. And it's easier for them to get resources by putting you in front and make people think this is about black women when it ain't. And then you support them, and then they get the bag and you get nothing. It's just like with that ham hock nose Tarana Bark, whatever her name is, that old ugly chick that's the that started the Me Too hashtag, Tarana Burke. They pushed her out there and made her the face of Me Too. And then when the bag came, when the money came, they took all the money. They took the bag and went home, and Tarana Burke got left with nothing. And then now she in the interviews whining about how the white feminist groups used her, got the bag and left her for dead. Well, that's what you get. You deserve that. You deserve it. What you should have did was hollered at them about getting some plastic surgery, instead of sitting up there trying to gang up on black men. You digs? But you have to love the whole self. You have to love what you look like. You got to love your skin color. You got to love what God has blessed you with. And if people want to talk about you and call you ugly, hey, I remember in school, I had girls that said some not so nice things about me in elementary school. I ain't listen to that shit. What second or third grade girl likes boys anyway? I didn't hear that stuff after we hit puberty. Plus, even if they would have had to say something, which wasn't very often, but even if they had said something to me, I still wouldn't have never believed it. If they said it on a regular basis, I wouldn't have believed it, because I know me. And I don't hate myself. And you ain't gonna make me hate myself. But when you starve people out, you rail on people, you show only the negative stuff on TV, lying on black people, saying we violent, we this, we that. Then all you show on TV is ratchet shit that we're involved in. After a while, to the weak-minded person, you're gonna start believing that that's the best that's the best that black culture can offer. That all of us are just foul-mouthed, ignorant, uncouth, nasty, raggedy ass, ratchet people. When you know we're better than that. But some of y'all come from those kinds of backgrounds. So you think that's funny. And you consider that to be black. That ain't black. Love and hip hop ain't got nothing to do with black people. Basketball wives ain't got nothing to do with black people. The garbage that you see on Media Takeout and World Star Hip Hop, that ain't black culture. That ain't got nothing to do with us as black people. And because of that kind of stuff is why you need to know your history. And you need to have knowledge of self, but you also have to love thyself. Because once you start understanding that you have value, you don't have to walk around with a t-shirt talking about Black Lives Matter. You already know Black Lives Matter because your life matters. You don't have to get behind empty symbolism. Black Lives Matter is empty symbolism. Anything that a white person or white people are putting money into, but yet they got black people's faces on it, you know it ain't no good. If you got to wear a t-shirt telling people Black Lives Matter, you're a fucking idiot. You should know your life matters. The Wolf and the Fox. What you know about that? What you know about the Wolf and the Fox? Which animal in your opinion is more deadly, the wolf or the fox? See, I'm gonna go back to what I said at the beginning of this broadcast when I said I was talking about the perfect lie. The reason why a lot of black people get hoodwinked, I'm gonna say this again. The reason why a lot of black people get hoodwinked by Caucasian people or by the white supremacists or the dominant society The reason why we get hoodwinked is because you have to understand the white supremacists have been telling the same perfect lies for 500 years. And if you've been hearing the same lie or these perfect lies, when somebody tells you the truth, you're not going to believe it. Oh, what you talking about, nigga? I don't believe that shit. Well, go look it up then. If you don't believe something, go look it up. I encourage you to go look it up. That way you can see that you're full of shit and you're a fucking dumbass. That's why I'll give you an example. I remember I was somewhere and I was doing some business. And I knew the answer to this question before I asked it, but I got the answer from somebody else. But I was trying to see what this chick was saying, this white chick was saying that I was dealing with. And so I said to her, I asked her the question to see what kind of response I would get. And she gave me an answer that was different from what this other person told me. And I knew she was giving me a subjective response because this wasn't a corporate wide what she said wasn't corporate wide. And so when I told her that wasn't true, instead of just maybe saying, hey, I got the wrong information or I'm sorry, she started lying. And the one thing about these white supremacists, when they lie, they can lie to you with a straight face. And they can give you that sorry, I'm an honest white person look on their face and be telling bold-faced lies. And she just kept lying and lying and lying and lying. And finally, I stopped her. And I told her, I said, one thing I don't appreciate is somebody lying to me. And I said, she was like, well, how do you know I'm lying to you? I said, first of all, I already know the answer. The answer is this. She was like, well, if you know the answer, why did you ask me? I said, because I wanted to see if you were going to tell a lie or not. And she looked so stupid. She didn't expect, she didn't expect a black person to check her like that. Because again, most black people, when they out in public, most black people are ass kissers. When they get around Caucasian people, we become the most ass kissing motherfuckers on the planet. You going to a place of business to buy a product or get a service for something. You're spending your money and you're the one kissing ass when it should be the other way around. But yet that same black person, if they went to the black equivalent of that business, they be in there talking all kind of shit. Oh, all of a sudden they a gangster. They gangster with it. But because you dealing with some Caucasians, all of a sudden you just kissing ass. The wolf and the fox. Whenever you hear, I hear this a lot with white women. I mean, excuse me, with black women. I hear this a lot with black women. Black women will say some stupid shit like this. Well, I didn't know such and such was racist. And I'm like, well, how could you not know that person was how could you not know that person wasn't a racist? And they're like, because they never said nothing racist. You see where I'm going with this? And they'll say, you're looking for somebody, you're looking for confirmation that somebody's a racist by listening to what they say, by them not saying you ever witnessing them saying anything racist. Believe it or not, if you're sitting there right now saying, "No, man, black people ain't that stupid," a lot of these black folks are stupid like that. You're waiting for some racist admission of guilt of being a racist. You might be around this person for 20 years, working with this Caucasian person for 20 years. And you could think of them as being the most swell person on the planet. And then during that 21st year, something happened where that person had to show you exactly who they are. And you'll sit there like a dumbass and say, well, I didn't think such and such was racist until that incident. Let me explain something to you. They didn't start being a racist in year 21. They were a racist from day one. And because these whole 20 years, you haven't been paying attention, you couldn't see it. Or you don't know what to look for or listen for. Because you ain't, like you call us, woke. See, if you had knowledge of self, you wouldn't get played like that for 20 years. Now let's talk about the wolf and the fox. The average gray wolf is probably about 120 some pounds. Lean, mean, meat eating fighting machine. Foxes, on the other hand, are not that big. You got some fox, probably the biggest fox might be 15 pounds, 20, maybe 20 pounds. The smallest fox is about 4 pounds. And they ain't no bigger than a cat, a full-grown cat. Now, you would probably say that the wolf was more dangerous. Maybe as far as size is concerned and your safety, yeah. But what if you're a farmer? Huh? What if you're a farmer? To you, a wolf and that fox are just as dangerous to your livestock. Especially if you have hogs, sheep, goats, and especially chickens or turkeys. You don't want to deal with a wolf or a fox, because to you they're both dangerous. See, this is how you have to think when you're dealing with Caucasian people. This is what keeps you from accusing all of them of being white supremacists or saying that all white people are good people. It keeps you from being on either end of the spectrum of extremes, because where you want to be is right in the middle. Because being right in the middle, you have enough knowledge and enough discipline to say, okay, he showed his ass or her ass, this is what they did, and regardless of all the grinning and smiling, that's who they are. So you're able to properly label that person or group of people based on their behavior, not about the intangibles like smiling and grinning. No car salesman or saleswoman is going to sell any cars if they approach you with a frown on their face. They're going to come at you, hi, phony as hell. You have the white supremacists, like the David Duke or the Richard Spencer type. But then you also have the type like Jared Taylor, who seems like a fatherly old uncle, or grandmotherly like Hillary Clinton. They might surround themselves with black people. They might even have black friends. But where you determine that they're a white supremacist is based on their deeds. When I ask some, I posed this question on one of my broadcasts one time. I said, who was more dangerous to you as a president, Ronald Reagan or Bill Clinton? And almost all black folks always say Ronald Reagan. And I ask why? Because he didn't like black people. Or some of them may say, well, because they flooded the black neighborhoods with crack cocaine. Okay, that's fair. But the crack cocaine wouldn't have done half the damage that it done to the black man or the black woman or the black child had it not been for the war on drug policies that were pitted against or which were part of the attack on the black man and woman. And so people give Bill Clinton a pass because he's a Democrat, and they ain't never heard him say the N-word. They ain't never heard him what they say. They ain't never heard him say nothing racist. And he liked Patti LaBelle fried chicken. And he liked to go to black churches sometime. So for that reason, you say Bill Clinton wasn't a racist. But what you don't know is that part of the reason the country was flooded with crack cocaine is because of Bill Clinton. That's how he became president. You need to look up. There's 3 murders that happened during the time that the CIA was running Major Yayo up in Central Arkansas. And if you look at that movie with Tom Cruise, American Made, you'll know what I'm talking about. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But you got to see the movie. It's a very good movie with Tom Cruise. Came out last year. And there was a murder. There were 3 murders of these 3 hillbillies. And they did a documentary about it a long time ago on HBO, but I haven't seen anything on it in a while. But it was a very, it very seldom is there a murder of multiple Caucasian people and the police not get to the bottom of it. And the families of these 3 people were hella angry at Bill Clinton for a reason I'm not going to get to on this show, on this broadcast. Do the research yourself. I'm not going to sit here and tell you everything. But you think Bill Clinton is your friend because he never said the N-word. Well, Ronald Reagan never said it in public either. But you think Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton are your friends because they got black friends. Or for some of the reasons I named earlier. But yet, if you look at Bill Clinton's deeds and you look at Hillary Clinton's deeds, you see something totally different. It was under Bill Clinton's White House tenure that 94 crime bill was passed. And in 96, that Welfare to Work Omnibus Act was signed into law by Bill Clinton. That put Nazis child support on mainly black men. That's why I tell some of you wannabe black feminists. You guys like to talk shit about how you against black men and death to all the black men, but yet you got black sons in your house. How would you feel if your son brought home a woman like you that felt the way you feel about black men with your ambivalence? All of a sudden now you don't like it. If my ex-wife, if one of my sons brought home a woman just like her, which they will, she'd throw up in her own mouth. Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton got busted when they had that earthquake over there in Haiti. They were over there. The Red Cross and the Red Cross was stealing retinas and other body parts, skin, all kind of stuff off of them, those dead Haitians. And this white female reporter slipped up and reported on that. She said, "What? Wait a minute, this is retinas?" And the white woman that was trying to tell her, "You guys got to turn the camera off. You have to turn the camera off." Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton cared so much for black folks, but yet they were over there in Haiti buying land under the table. That's why as soon as them Haitians found out who owned that industrial park over there, they went over there and burned that motherfucker to the ground. Hillary Clinton, you think Hillary Clinton ain't a racist, but yet you go back to the 90s when her husband was in the White House and you see footage of her talking to these casual racists as well as these right-wing racists calling black men super predators. Now you gonna sit there and vote for that? You got what you deserved in 2016. Now you got Joe Biden up here trying to hoodwink your ass. And now he's having problems because him defending the 94 crime bill is turning off a whole lot of black men and women under 40. Because see, the Biden was doing a town hall or some speech last week, and all you saw behind him was a bunch of old black people. All you saw was a bunch of old Sambos and mammies. Because ain't nobody, because I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of black people, especially black folks under about age 45, they ain't rolling with Joe Biden. They ain't rolling with him. Joe Biden's support in black America is mainly from blacks my age and older. Scared niggas. Let me go ahead and get this Herschel Wood Slim out of the paint here. Let me go ahead and get your bitch ass out of here. What up, B the Great B? Let me get you out the paint. If you think Joe Biden is going to be better for you than Donald Trump, I feel sorry for you, dude. I feel sorry for you. I feel sorry for you, dude. You might be borderline retarded. Real talk. See, Donald Trump's the wolf, but Joe Biden is that fox. They're both carnivores. They both eat meat, What, you thought foxes ate vegetables, motherfucker? Huh? Fox eat mice, rats, other small animals, birds. They're a meat eater, just like that wolf. So if you're a farmer, say you're a chicken farmer, both that wolf and that fox could be a detriment to your business. So you can't look at somebody and just because they're passive aggressive and not aggressive, hyper aggressive like Donald Trump is, you can't look at a Joe Biden and give him a pass just because he's got a D behind his name. You can't give him a pass just because you don't hear him say nigger. You got to look at his deeds. What does that person's deeds tell you? Well, the black folks who decided they wasn't going to vote for Hillary Clinton in 2016 were the smart people who looked at her deeds over the past 20-something years. And like myself, they said, I ain't vote for her. I ain't voting for her. See, I have horrible short-term memory, but long-term memory, you ain't gonna call my people super predators and push forth these racist, draconian crime bills and racist child support laws, and then turn around and get mad because I won't vote for you. Hillary Clinton had the nerve to get up and blame black folks, talking about black people didn't show up for me. Like, bitch, what have you done for us? You ain't done shit for black people. If anything, you and your husband have been the thorn in the asses of black folks. That's why we didn't vote for your sorry ass. Plus, we tired of looking at you. Go home and be a goddamn grandmother and a wife. The reason why your husband's out here fucking everything in sight is because you ain't doing your goddamn job. You too busy trying to outman his ass. Fuck out of here. Tired of seeing the Clintons. Sit your ass, both of y'all need to sit your asses down somewhere. Take your asses somewhere. Go on a goddamn yacht somewhere. See, the problem is they can't stand each other. Which most of these white so-called political power couples, most of them don't even deal with each other unless they have to. Fuck out of here. That fox and that wolf are dangerous to you. You see, black folks have this image of a white supremacist in their mind of David Duke or Richard Spencer. But you don't, but somebody like Jared Taylor or Ben Shapiro, you let them sneak up on you, or Hillary Clinton. Somebody like a Bill and Hillary Clinton or Joe Biden, you let them sneak up on you because you don't look at deeds. You just listen. You just look at people grinning and smiling, and you listen to lies, the beautiful lies that somebody tell you. So when somebody like me come around and tell you the truth, it's unbelievable to you. You're like, oh man, I ain't believing that Hotep shit. I love Joe Biden. I love the Clintons. I love the Clintons. You got black women right now, love them Clintons. They like the Patti LaBelle. Bill Clinton gonna sit up here and pass child support bill. He up on TV talking about deadbeat dads, and yet he got a son he ain't even taking care of. He got a son running around Little Rock talking about Bill Clinton. Look, Bill Clinton, he looked just like Bill Clinton. Just like him. If you put a picture of Bill Clinton at 20-some years old and this dude, the only difference was this guy is black. He's light-skinned black dude. Look just like him. He got the nerve to go around here talking about calling somebody a deadbeat dad. Maybe if you provided, maybe if you didn't let these corporations send all our jobs to China, maybe guys would have enough have jobs and have enough money to pay their child support. They didn't need that bill before then. They passed that bill to specifically fuck black men. And even her best friend, Wright Edelman, they used to be over the Children's Defense Fund. She went to Yale Law School with her. That black woman, that light-skinned black woman, she married to a Jewish white dude. Even she told her, she said, don't pass this. It's going to hurt black men more than it hurts anybody else because black men it's hard for a black man to keep a job because of racism. You pass this shit, this is going to overwhelmingly hurt black men. Do you think Bill Clinton listened to her? Tell me about Bill Clinton or Bill and Hillary Clinton being friends of black folks. You believe that horse shit because you're stupid and scared and don't want to depend on your own people. See, black folks, let me tell you right now, Trump, the reason why Trump is in office is to show you that we need to start working together. We don't have to agree on everything. We don't have to, we're not a monolithic people. We don't have to agree with everything we say to each other. We don't have to agree with that, but we do have to agree that whatever goes on as far as economics is concerned, that we need to leave our children with resources so that they have an easier life than we had. The problem is we got these Sambos and these mammies who came up during my parents' generation who thought it was cute to not leave your kids anything. And now my generation and all the generations after me, including you millennials, you're in a worse position because black men and women of my parents' generation left us with nothing. You got black folks talking about all you got to do. You got stupid Negroes out here talking about all you got to do is go to a HBCU. You can go to HBCU all you want. You still be a dumb black person. You still won't know anything about yourself. They ain't teaching black. They ain't teaching black empowerment at these so-called black schools. You got black folks out here telling their kids, all you got to do is get a college degree. You be all right. Now you got all these black kids graduate from college and can't even find a damn job. And I heard this on Sirius XM today that black college students are graduating with $13,000 to $14,000 more debt than the average white student. Yet the white people have more resources. Smells like some racism in there somewhere. Plus, it's also that black students are probably staying in college longer. But black folks are always looking for the obvious racist. See, you know Richard Spencer's a racist because he tells you he is. But Ben Shapiro or the Proud Boys or Patriot Prayer or Dave or Jared Taylor, you don't think they're racist because they don't spew rhetoric like David Duke and Richard Spencer does, or Alex Jones. So when a Joe Biden or a Bill or Hillary Clinton come around you, you let your guard down because, oh, it's just the fox. The wolf is the only animal who's dangerous. Your dumb ass. That fox is just as dangerous. We got to get off the dumb shit. Let me tell you something about Trump's presidency. If nothing else, Trump's presidency is teaching black folks, hopefully will learn faster than we are. His presidency is teaching us that we need to get on the same page and cut the bullshit out and start supporting black-owned businesses. Because I get dumbasses who will say to me, ICE, what does black empowerment, economic empowerment have to, man, that ain't got shit to do with racism. I'm like, you dumb nigga, shut up. Don't send me no stupid ass emails no more. Do something else with your time. You waiting for a smoking gun. If you saw that Black Klansman movie, well, all those white guys who were in that chapter of the Klan, were all of them rebel rousing, rhetoric spewing, numbskulls? No. Some of them were. Some of them were quiet. Some of them were just sitting there. Hey, does that mean that they're less of a racist than the ones who are more hyper aggressive? No. All of them are dangerous to you. The quiet one and the loudmouth one. See, I like Trump for the simple fact that I like my racists out in the open. I love racists who tell you and show you who they are. It's the sneaky, smiling motherfucker that I don't like. You got black folks that still walk around here talking about there's only racism in the South. If you go to California or Oregon or Washington, there ain't no racism out there. Ain't no racism in Minnesota. Yeah, one of those iconic lynching pictures. One is of Marion County, Indiana, and the other picture where you see the black man, the dead black man laying on the ground and look like he been burned up, and the other two black men are hanging by ropes. You know where that picture? You know where they took that picture? A lot of you will be amazed where they took that picture. I think that picture was taken in 1920 something. You know where that lynching went on? What happened at? Duluth, Minnesota. Right under Canada and in the upper Midwest. See, they told you to lie that lynchings only happen in the South. Lynchings happen in California. They happen all over these United States. They happen outside of Chicago. There have been lynchings in New York State, Massachusetts, and even as far as Canada. Now they tell you to lie that the Underground Railroad took slaves to the north to freedom. That's a lie. That's a fucking lie. See, that's the lie they tell you to make Canada look like they ain't racist. You know what the Canadians, you know what the Mounties used to do when slaves used to escape to Canada? You know what they used to do? They would turn them back over to they would turn them back over to the bounty hunter slave catchers in the United States. Did y'all know that? Did you know that? See, I know Canadians. I know black Canadians. And they say it's just as racist up there as it is down here. They said they're just not as out in the open with it as they are down here. But they just as racist. Just like I'm up here in Washington State. You got people that say, I got stupid ass, ignorant Southern relatives that look, them white girls up there. Oh, I bet it ain't racist up there, huh? And I'm like, nigga, you dumbass, ignorant fool. These motherfuckers up here more racist than motherfuckers in the South. All you got up here is a bunch of dusty ass, lazy ass, mediocre Caucasians up here. No low class, dirty ass motherfuckers up here. The only place that you don't see that is Seattle. The Underground Railroad went west, not east, not north, west. That's how you ended up with all them black cowboys after slavery. And then Hollywood stole that. The image of the cowboy. They stole that from black men. Black men were the first and only cowboys. All that rodeoing and lassoing, that comes from us. But yet they made John Wayne a goddamn cowboy. And most of America thinks white men have been cowboys. When it was ex-black slaves that were cowboys. Brokeback Mountain didn't happen until way later. But that's the lie you've been told. You know, here Tom Cruise damn near 70 years old, and they still making action movies around his ass. They try to pass him off as this virile, ageless white dude. And yet a lot of people don't know this. Tom Cruise is sterile. He can't even make a goddamn baby, but he is the epitome of manhood. The fuck out of here. Superman can only be white. Yeah, Superman fell off that horse and broke his neck and ended up a quadriplegic and couldn't even walk, couldn't even wipe his own ass. But yet the example of virility and manhood is some white dude. Only in America. See, that's the power of propaganda. They sit up here and say North Korea is expert purveyors of propaganda, yet they left themselves off the list. Who's more of a propaganda society, North Korea or us? When they telling you that black lives don't matter. Every day they telling you on TV, in movies, black lives come a dime a dozen. So when some white citizen out here decides they want to shoot you or stab you or run you over with their car, it's no big deal because they're only killing roaches. You see what happens when you start telling people they're inferior and other people believe they think you're inferior? Just like, you know, there was some Caucasian woman, some older black man got into a fender bender accident and drove off. And this white woman chased him down and shot him and killed him. You think she did that because she felt she wasn't going to go to jail? Or she did it because she felt, because I'm a Caucasian person and I live in a white supremacist society who spouts propaganda every 5 seconds, she felt she wasn't going to go to jail or wasn't going to get charged. And now her dumb ass is on trial for murder. Now, if I was that brother, I wouldn't even have stopped for that bitch. Whenever I've had white people trying to ride up on my bumper, or they try to get in the passing lane and be yelling shit at me, I'll be like, you know, here's what I do. Let me show you what I do. Let me show you what I do. Okay? Let me show you what the Iceman do. Okay? Let me show you what the Iceman do. That's what the Iceman do. You understand? I ain't playing with you. You ain't gonna get a chance to ride up, to roll up on me and get the drop on me. That ain't gonna happen. Why do I feel like that? Why do I think like that? Based on life experience. You ain't gonna get the drop on the Iceman. You hear me? That's how I handle that shit. Now, I ain't gonna point no gun at nobody unless I'm gonna use it. But I'm damn sure ready to start dumping in case they want to get buck. While you riding around talking about all white folks are good and Christian good folks. The devil ain't gonna come to you frowned all up and talking shit. He gonna sweet talk your ass. Because then you'll let your guard down. Yeah, I understand that a lot of what I say is hard for people to hear. I get that. Oh, Pat Buchanan and his sister are biggest racists. Yeah, Puyallup, man, that's real country though. That's a shit town. But you keep believing that the fox is not dangerous compared to the wolf. You keep believing that. And that's why, and like I said, I'm gonna say this the third and final time. The reason why black people continuously get hoodwinked and fooled by Caucasian people is because you're always looking for the wolf and you let the fox sneak right by you. That's why. Don't ask me that shit no more. They got what you guys have been seeing. Look, I tell you what, let me take a break. Hey, YouTube, you guys need to get these donations up, man. We got one person that donated on here. Okay? Those of you who haven't donated yet, you can donate free via the Cash App, or you can go to asktheiceman.com, scroll down to the donate button, and get down there. But do one or the other. We're only asking for $5 today. And your whatever donation you make is totally 100% tax deductible. Okay? Because you're donating to a nonprofit. This is not a GoFundMe. So I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to be back in 2 and 2. If you haven't donated, do them shits. I'll be back. Hey, appreciate it, Justin, and Dusty. Appreciate it, guys. You guys have been hearing the past actually the past year, but it's ramped up the last few weeks because of the state level abortion bills that have been signed into law in about, I think at this point, 3 to 4 southern states. Now, you already know, or you already are pretty much aware of how Dudley and all them good folks and Peggy Sue, how they feel. You already know that, how they feel down there about abortion. You're already aware. But what you need to know is why. You need to know why they want to end abortion. You need to know why. Because they're not doing it because of what you think they're doing it for. That they care so much about life and all that bullshit. That doesn't have that much to do with it. See, if you're a student of, if you're aware of what's going on around you as well, locally, nationally, and internationally, this is not going to get past you. Okay? If you look at the population of Europeans in Europe and European Americans in North America, and I'm talking about Canada and the United States. You realize that the birth rates are not keeping up with the death rates. For every Caucasian person that died, how did they do it? For every Caucasian person that dies, it actually is a loss of 6. Y'all understand what I'm saying? For every dead Caucasian person, They lose 6 people and get closer to extinction. See, when you look at these little all-white towns, these sundown towns all around the United States, they got them up here too. They got sundown towns up here. Got these all-white enclaves. When you get people with recessive genes who are a mutation of the mutated, of a mutated person, I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. A black person is like the example. Let me show you an example. I'll just use this. I wrote this directly on this piece of paper, so this is the original. This is black people. This is you. This is us. If I go and make a copy of this, then that is a copy of the original, but it's not the original, right? Right. What Caucasian people are is you taking the copy of this and making another copy of it. That's why whenever a Caucasian person, whether they're the man or the woman, whenever they have a child with an Asian person or a so-called Latino person or a black person, you notice that that baby is always darker than the white parent. Have you ever noticed that? And they take on the phenotype of the parent that has the most melanin. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? Are there situations where the kid comes out that might have a parent as dark as I am, and the kid comes out looking almost as white as the white parent? Does that happen every now and then? Yes. I'm not saying it doesn't. But when you have people who have recessive genes come together and they keep having children, that's why if you notice, a lot of Caucasian kids have birth defects. Some of that is because of incest over the last 500,000 years or however long they've been existing, 7,000 years. Did you know that incest amongst Caucasian people in America is still a problem? Did y'all know that? Incest is a huge problem amongst them. And yet they call us niggers. So when you have these all-white enclaves of nothing but Caucasian people and they're only having babies with each other, what do you think is going to happen after a while? They're going to cancel each other out. So these Southerners, and it really ain't even, it's not as much about geography as it is straight up white survival, genetic survival. The number one priority of white supremacists is genetic survival at all costs. You have to understand, Caucasian people are very insecure. They're very xenophobic and race phobic. Why? Because they're always aware that they can be wiped out. You can take a pinhead of my semen and some of you brothers' semen, and you can wipe out the whole white race. They can't, but the opposite can't be done. You can't take a bunch of white people and wipe out black folks with their sperm, with a white man's sperm. It can't be done because we have the genetic code for every race out here. Why? Because everybody comes from us. They only, even Asian people, so-called Hispanic people, they only have the phenotype, they only have the genetic code for themselves. They don't have all genetic code like we do. You can't have any other color in the color spectrum without first it being black. See, that's not Hotep talk. That's facts. You calling it Hotep talk and pro-black talk is because you are too much of a coward and too much of a dumbass to listen, to take any of this information and fact check it and then apply it to your life. So you use that, oh, that's Hotep talk, to make the excuse so you ain't got to do no work. And you can sit on your lazy ass and do nothing. See, the thing about being uninformed, you can't claim ignorance as a defense. When these white supremacists get after your ass, you can claim your claiming ignorance ain't gonna do you a bit of good. Just like that black woman that got killed by that race soldier posing as a police officer down there in Baytown, Texas. That woman thinking she's saying to him, "Oh, I'm pregnant, I'm pregnant." She thought that was gonna get him up off of her. When that made him even more angry and more violent. That's why I say black women want to pretend like they got some kind of direct hookup, some direct line to white daddy and white mommy, and they're above black men. And that's why that case that shooting rubs a lot of black women the wrong way. You notice black women ain't really said too much about all these, they said some shit about Sandra Bland. They said some shit about some of these other sisters getting killed, but they are really bent out of shape and in their feelings about this situation down there because even though that cop knew she was pregnant, he shot her ass anyway. See, black women want to pretend like they got some kind of protected class, some kind of protective status in America, and the white supremacists only want to get at black men. No, they want to get at all of us. They're just using you as a useful idiot. Oh, these black women are dumb enough to be against their own men? We'll use that to our advantage. See, now black folks realize, a lot of black folks want to be under the impression that white on black violence is only taking place because of Trump. But you're forgetting about the fact that Trump wouldn't even be in office if it wasn't for a whole bunch of white folks and Hispanic people who think like he does. He wouldn't be so popular right now if it wasn't for he wouldn't be so popular if it wasn't for the people who voted his ass in there, or who voted, as far as the popular vote is concerned. Because as you saw, Hillary Clinton won the popular vote, but he won the most important vote, the Electoral College. That's why they call it the popular vote, because that's all it is, a popularity contest. It don't put the president in the White House. This is a civics lesson you ain't never gonna get. Because this right here is the truth. They have us all believing that Dr. King was all he cared about was integration and little black boys and little white kids holding hands together. When Dr. King, that was a small part of what Dr. King was about. Dr. King was about getting that check. Dr. King was working on getting reparations back then. But they ain't gonna never tell you that. Dr. King wasn't no scary turn the other cheek Negro. They just painted him that to be that way. You got to understand, just like we got black folks who will look at somebody like me, or I mean, I'm not a public figure, but let me use somebody of a better example. Like, you got a lot of black folks today who will say, oh, well, you know, Farrakhan, he's a troublemaker. He making it hard for black people. They were saying the same damn thing about Dr. King. A lot of black folks hated Dr. King. Don't get it twisted. And all these white folks that try to act like they love Dr. King, they didn't love Dr. King. They hated Dr. King. But they only play the I Have a Dream speech, and they only play parts of it. They only play certain little parts of his speeches that made him seem like he was an integrationist. Although he did, to some degree, subscribe to integration, he wasn't no total integrationist. Like they try to paint him, try to make him out to be. Fuck out of here. I played a video for y'all of Dr. King saying that America owed black people a check because of slavery. When they brought them Europeans over here from Europe, they gave them free land and they gave them money. You came out of slavery, you didn't get shit. You got black folks walking around here calling themselves immigrant. You ain't no damn immigrant unless you from Nigeria or Turks and Caicos. You ain't no damn immigrant. You have a totally different status than anybody else in this country. Got dumbass niggas on TV talking about, well, you know, our people are immigrants, just like, and I understand about these Hispanics coming up through Mexico, coming here for a better life. I understand. You stupid nigga. You ain't no damn immigrant, and you shouldn't be co-signing somebody breaking into your fucking country. It shows how weak your ass is if you allow people to come through your goddamn borders and you don't do shit to them but turn them loose. Russia, let me tell you something. Let me give you a let me give you a quick tidbit of information on foreign policy. Russia and China are already plotting. And when they see all this racial bullshit that keep white supremacist shit that keep going on around here, do you think, let me tell you something, it'll be easy to attack us. China done got their weight up thanks to American corporations. They done got their dollars up. And now their economy is bigger than ours. So if somebody's got a bigger economy than you and they got money to print and money to burn, the next thing they're going to think about doing is attacking your ass. See, America has made the mistake over time of spending too much time trying to keep black folks down. You have to understand, Rome was way more powerful than the United States will ever be. And look at Rome. Rome is reduced to a fucking city. You understand? Mighty Rome. See, this is why you need to study history. The numbers are decreasing for them. So every time they lose, every time a white Caucasian person dies, they actually lose. Going, you know, they generationally they actually lose 6. Not the same with us. We ain't scared of we not afraid of genetic annihilation. They are. See, we don't walk around thinking about our survival in that sense, because look at us. We've been here millions of years. We ain't going nowhere. And see, nature is running its course with these folks because they weren't naturally created in the first place. Remember, I said it at the top of the hour. They are a mutation of a mutation. How long you think these people are going to last? How long do you think they're going to last with nature just through natural selection wiping their ass out? And then look at all the evil that they do, not just here in the United States, but worldwide, killing people and murdering people and stealing people's resources. How long do you think it's going to be before nature just goes ahead and just wipes their asses out? Well, all the evil that they exact on the races all over the world, and here they numbers are still decreasing. They want to stop this abortion, these wanton abortions, because their numbers are just too low. Their birth rates are too low. Their death rates are too high. See, you don't see, because most of y'all don't pay attention to anything, you don't see what I see, either through research or with your own two eyes. See, when you come up here where I live at, you got a lot of gray ass, old ass honkies up here. They're not being replenished. White people are not having babies like we do. And that's one of the reasons why, what's his name? Trump wants to close that border. It hurts the country having a bunch of burglars breaking in the damn country, and it makes us look weak on a international scale. Y'all talk all this shit about America being this and that, and here you can't even keep people out of your goddamn country. You got to look at the optics. You got to look at the optics. What is the optics showing you? Look at all these Caucasian people on meth and heroin. This heroin epidemic amongst Caucasian people is worse than the crack epidemic will ever be. And it's going to get worse before it gets better. That's why you notice, I don't know if y'all saw this on TV, but about a month ago, they locked up a couple pharmaceutical executives. They're going to have to start holding them accountable, because you talking about wiping out, 25 to 30% of the young white population. And then two, that's not to mention all the diseases, the HIV rates for white people in this country has gone up exponentially the last 10, 15, 20 years. But yet when you see commercials about HIV medicine, who they showing? They showing stupid ass black people, because they want to put a black face on HIV and AIDS when it ought to have a white face. You used to see some of these germy ass, dusty ass drug addicts up here. They look like they got AIDS. They out there sharing needles and shit. They out there fucking. They out there doing all kind of shit. And you black women want a white man. Go get one. Go ahead and get you one. But you better talk to them. You better talk to them African women who have gotten HIV from them white missionaries that come over there, and them UN troops that come over there raping them. Better talk to them African women who've been raped in a refugee camp before you get down and dirty with your zaddy. If they don't stop this opioid epidemic, it can easily wipe out 30 to 40% of the young under 40 white male and female population, if they don't get a handle on this shit. If it wasn't for the Moors, them African brothers who came up from Africa, the Black Death or the Black Plague would have killed all of Europe. And the reason why the Europeans were dying because they were shitting in the house, they were pissing in the house, they weren't bathing. They didn't start bathing until we went up there and taught them how to bathe. That's a known fact. They had their animals in the house. You got Caucasians that still live like animals. You go over their house, they got their dogs shitting in the house. They got their cats shitting in the house. They got their dogs pissing in the house. They letting goats in the house. And them Africans is like, man, you can't do that. You got to put them, that's where the concept of the farm layout came from, where the farm is away from the house. That came from us. We the ones told them to get them animals out the house. Nasty motherfuckers. That's why I be telling you, black men, you so hard up for a damn white bitch. You might want to live with one to see how nasty they are. Even the college educated ones are nasty as hell. They wash their ass, don't use no washcloths. They wash their ass with their hand. Like, you can't clean yourself with your hands, bitch. What you giving me this washcloth? I don't use no washcloth. I'm like, you do now. Dirty bitch. Oh, hell yeah, they do, Justin. Hell yeah, they do. Them African animals don't be killing them Africans like that. They kill them Caucasians like that. Because they know something ain't right with them. Before you run your ass out there and get a white man, or you run your ass out there and get a white woman, you might want to do your research on them. Because some of them are nasty. You so damn pussy starved that you'll just do anything for some white pussy. That's why black men are the thirstiest motherfuckers on the planet. So when I go out here, maybe I might want to go to a bar and first thing all the women in the bar, first their demeanor is like, oh, here come the thirsty black guy. Well, here come the free drinks. And then they see I ain't one of them dudes. That's why I tell people in a minute, you can be out there hating black women if you want to, black man, talking about, I'm gonna give me a white one. Go get one then, nigga. I don't care where I live. I always make the effort to find a black woman before I date anybody of another race. Real talk. Because I don't hate myself like you hate yourself. And just because my ex-wife was a piece of shit, or some of these other black women I've dated have been a piece of shit, that don't mean all black women are pieces of shit. So I ain't gonna sit up there and, oh, I ain't fucking with black women now. I ain't fucking with black women at all. Do you know how stupid you look? When you tell somebody you don't date people in your own race group. What's wrong with black women is ideology and behavior. It has nothing to do with them as black women. And the reason why a lot of you brothers, black women, are not interested in you is because of your energy. If a woman picks up that you are soft, she is not going to be attractive to you. Do you know I have dated women 6 feet tall and taller? Dude, I ain't but 5'7.5". So when it gets down to it, height don't mean shit. If they pick up a sense that you are a weak man, and that if the situation called for it, you could not protect her. You have to understand, every woman, I don't care if I don't give a damn if she's 6 foot 300 pounds. Every woman is aware that you have a physical and a strength advantage over her. She knows that. Don't think they ain't thinking about that. If your energy is weak, you might want to check that shit, dog. That's why I tell cats to, stop being cheap and pay to go get some therapy. Pay for some life coaching from me. Because as a black man, I am from where you are from. I understand the black mentality, so I'm best able to help you more so than some Caucasian person you don't know. Plus, they not gonna help you like that. You come in there talking about, I think women see me as weak. Caucasian women are gonna say, a Caucasian therapist is gonna say, well, what's wrong with that? Because nothing is more of a turn on to Caucasian people than a weak milk toast black man. See, black men like me scare white folks because I ain't gonna compromise with them. I ain't gonna put up with their shit. I'm not even gonna put up with their shit 5 seconds, and they can pick up on that. I remember a couple of times I've had white people pull up. You know how you be pumping your gas, and then another person will pull up on the other side with the tank on the other side, and they go get their gas. And I've had white people pull up on the other side and say some little slick shit. And I'm just like, motherfucker, you better be glad. You better be glad you getting in your truck, getting ready to drive away. You better be glad. Because they know damn good and well, had they said that shit while I was standing out there pumping my gas, I would have walked over there and knocked the shit out of them. But they can pick up on you that you soft. And that's going to work to your disadvantage, especially when you dealing with them. All right now. Don't say I didn't tell you. See, a lot of black folks like to play dumb so because they think that's going to get them out of an ass whooping. It's not going to save you, dog. You gonna get got just like me. Just like the big mouth black man that you can't stand so much, they gonna get at you too. Matter of fact, they might get at you first. That opioid situation is major. That's a huge problem in this country, dog. They better get a handle on that shit. Even if the numbers were like maybe 10, 15%, when you talking about the total population of a group of people that's already decreasing already, that ain't good news. You think that's good news? No, it ain't. Because again, when they lose somebody, it ain't like when we lose somebody. It might take a few months or a few years for us to replenish those numbers that we may have lost to gun violence and drug-related violence and gang violence. We can rebound. But with them, it stays down because they're not procreating at the rate that we are. You got to understand the way they think, man. Why do you think you hear these white businessmen on CNBC talking about populations and shit like that? You know, to the average person, to the ignorant ear, the first thing you would say, well, why are they talking about population on a business show? They're always thinking about genetic annihilation. You need to get the late, great Dr. Francis Quest Welsing's book, The ISIS Papers. It'll explain everything that you need to know about the white supremacists and why they think the way they think. Every black man and every black woman needs to get that book. Because everything I talk about on this show is either related or comes directly out that book, and I haven't read it yet. I plan to. I'm gonna get it when I move. I'm getting ready to move. So when I get good over here, across the way over here, I'm gonna order the book. I just don't want to order it right now. That's just one more thing I gotta put in a box and move over there. You want to understand white supremacy? Get the ISIS Papers. Go to Amazon and get it. That's one of the best books out here on white supremacy. Written by a black psychiatrist who graduated from Howard Medical School. Brilliant sister. I wish she was still with us. But she's one of the ancestors now. See, that's a legacy. That's a legacy. You wish you could leave a legacy like that will live on forever. You know how many people lives, black lives have been changed because of that book? How many more educated black men and women are walking around now because of that book? And I know you wouldn't venture to say that she was Hotep. The Player Circle podcast. We're gonna have we had an abysmal amount of donations on Saturday. Abysmal. So I'm gonna tell y'all, I'm gonna say this here, man. We need to be consistent. Okay? We need to be consistent. So The topic for Saturday's show or Saturday's broadcast is going to be the racism of interracial dating. Okay? Let me write that down. I'm fucking around, not remember it. Saturday's Player Circle podcast. You know, we do the Player Circle podcast every Saturday. Probably going to start about 3 or 4 p.m. Pacific time. And the topic will be the racism of interracial dating. Now, those of you who are not who have not subscribed to the Mad Voodoo Man channel on YouTube, I suggest you do it, because what I do now on the Player Circle podcast on Saturdays, I don't do a simulcast where I do Facebook Live and YouTube live stream. We just do straight YouTube, because I get tired of Facebook trying to censor me. When I try to start the show, they'll sit up there and block my attempt to start the live stream. And so what'll end up happening is, when I go back on there to see if I've been put in Facebook jail, all of a sudden it works. But I notice if I do the live stream at the same time on the same days, they pull that shit. Like I said, America always points fingers at other people and look at the propaganda and the racist shit that we do. YouTube be doing shit too. With them racist ass geeks, they got them racist crackers they got working up there at YouTube over there in San Bruno, California. You don't think the Caucasians that work at Facebook and YouTube ain't racist? You keep believing that. You ain't got no friends, black woman, black man. You have no friends. That's why we need to have our own shit. We got all these black billionaires and millionaires, and none of them want to come up with anything that promotes us, that pushes our agenda forward. Look at Oprah's Sambo mammy ass. Man, Oprah is the most white ass kissing black person. How you gonna be worth $2.5 billion and you still out here sucking white ass? I can't stand Oprah. A lot of black folks done turn their back on Oprah. A lot of black men and women have been like, oh, I'm cool on Oprah. Because Oprah has spread a lot of propaganda on black men off her show. She's the one that was promoting that black men on the down low bullshit. She was the one promoting that. I remember her doing that. It seems that every time they looking for a black homosexual male, it seems like the white media can always find them, can't they? When you know damn good and well most black men ain't homosexuals. You got black women out here Well, my daughter, she says my daughter's 12 years old, and she said, she's thinking of, I think she's gonna be a lesbian. And I'm like, how you promoting this shit in your house, you dumb bitch? And you're like, oh, I'm married. I'm like, what dumb nigga is letting you run this shit on your kids? How the fuck does a 12-year-old kid know what they want? And a lot of it, in real talk, I'm gonna say this, and I know a lot of you LGBT motherfuckers gonna get mad when I say this, but I ain't saying this to be disrespectful. Let me tell you something. Have you noticed that a lot of ugly black women are lesbians? Or real homely black women are lesbian? You know why they do that? A lot of them women are what my uncle in San Antonio called a lipstick lesbian. A lot of these women ain't hardcore. A lot of these black women ain't hardcore lesbians. I know because some dudes, I have had dudes told me they fuck lesbians. They done even fuck some of these studs. Some of these black women, some of these black lesbians be on that lint licking tip because they lonely and don't know black men want their ass. So if you all homely and you got lint in your hair and you got a mustache like Aunt Bunny, nah, ain't no niggas checking for you. Who fault is that? Don't blame us because we ain't attracted to you. We ain't against you. But don't hate all black men because you got a mustache and you don't comb your hair. Because see, some of these black women be trying to do the same shit these homely white women be doing. Oh, I'm gonna be homely and still get a man. Well, some of them homely white women are sucking mad dick. And they got their booty up in the air every night. That's why they got a man. You talking about I ain't giving the nigga shit. I ain't sucking shit. Well, that's why you alone. That's why your ass alone. Oh, yeah, the Times Magazine is so full of shit. Black men ain't no endangered species. The only one who's endangered is they ass. You can't shoot all these black men. You can't kill all these black men. That's why they always got some kind of hustle going. It's the prison industrial complex. They giving niggas Ebola. I'm gonna tell you right now. Don't be surprised in the next couple of years you're gonna see an outbreak of Ebola in motherfucking West Detroit or South Side Chicago, West Side Chicago. You'd be like, "What is these niggas doing over here with Ebola?" Don't be surprised. Remember, almost all of these biological agents that Russia uses, we use, other nations around the world use. You know where that shit is made? Know where them poisonous vaccines are made? CDC, right over there on the other side of Emory University. They're doing a lot of dirty shit in there. So don't think that the Tuskegee experiment was the last time they was putting biological agents in and around and on black folks. Keep on thinking. Remember, earlier in this broadcast, I talked about the wolf and the fox. Just because a fox is cute and might only be 4 pounds, he's still a meat eater. And if he gets hungry enough, he gonna attack your ass. You sitting up here watching that wolf and the fox is sneaking right on past your ass. Excuse me. Keep on with the bullshit, black people. I remember one time I had a black person say to me, they said, oh, white people ain't that evil. They didn't come up with HIV and AIDS. Oh, come on, they ain't that evil. And then I said to the dude, I said, since you think they ain't evil enough to come up with HIV and AIDS and Ebola and nerve agents, hell, they used some of that shit on us in Iraq. You think they didn't use biological chemical warfare on their own people? They did it in Vietnam, and they didn't admit it until the early 90s, didn't they? They lied all through the 70s, lied all through the 80s. There ain't no such thing as Agent Orange. And then when Clinton got in there, all of a sudden they admitted it. Keep on. You have no idea. See, you know what? The biggest disservice that black folks do to themselves individually is you underestimate the evilness of your opponent. This is why black men get hoodwinked by black women, because you underestimate the evilness of these black women. You still want to believe that most of these black women are on your side. And like I said earlier in the broadcast, look at deeds, not smiling faces and sweet and beautiful words, beautiful lies. Look at deeds. Some of you black men see some of these black women, some, not most, some black women who mistreat their own children physically and or emotionally or both. And you think this is a woman you want to build something with? If she's going to shit on her own children who came out of her womb, what the fuck you think she'll do to you? And you didn't. See, that's your ignorance. That's why I've talked about the book. Get this book. You can get it from a black bookstore. Why the White Man is the Devil. I showed y'all this book before. Let me show this book real quick. Where's that book at? I try to keep it where I can find it, because people have asked me about it, and I'm like, damn, I don't put that book away. I read it before back in the 90s, but I got to read it again. It's this book right here, Why the White Man's the Devil, by Muhammad Shabazz and Ali Shahi. And this is not a Kill Whitey book. This is not a Hotep book. These are college educated brothers explaining why they have come to this conclusion. I got this book from a black bookstore in Baltimore. I had to order it. This is an excellent book. It talks about how the Germans, how the Americans, all of them conspired together to colonize Africa and rape Africa. And how the Nazis ran their money through Wall Street, how they got their money. They got their money through Wall Street. And guess who's Now, I'll talk about that at a different time. I'm probably going to do a broadcast on the Bush family because there's a lot of stuff you don't know. And when I tell you, you're going to be like, man, where you be getting this shit from? The information's out there. You just got to know how to get it. You got to know how to grab it. You got to know what to look for, because the one thing about these white supremacists in the media, what they propaganda and they lies, sometimes they put the truth out here in plain sight. And if you're brain dead like most Americans are, not just black people, if you're asleep like most Americans are, you ain't gonna catch it. But see, when I see it, I'm like, I know what the fuck they talking about. And some of that stuff, that's how I get the information, and I talk about it on this broadcast. That's why I want you to tell a friend about the Iceman Show weekly and the Player Circle podcast on Saturdays. Now, the Player Circle podcast, that broadcast, we just deal specifically with dating and relationships from a black perspective. That's what we talk about. And it's a lot looser, more of a comedy show than this is. This is serious business. The Iceman Show podcast is about business. Instead of looking at CNN and MSNBC, why don't you come holler at the Iceman? Because you're going to get the truth here. You might not like it sometimes. Sometimes I don't like talking about this stuff, but you have to hear it. Appreciate the fact that I'm man enough to tell you the truth. And to all you cheese-eating, weak-ass, cowardly niggas who don't want to support the show, whether it's with your viewership and donations or both, go fuck yourself. Yeah, I said it. Go fuck yourself. If you got that kind of contempt for me, what the fuck you doing sitting there listening to me and looking at me? Huh? You got so much goddamn contempt, go take your ass somewhere else. Why don't you go listen to Joy Reid lie to you and blow smoke up your ass with her ass kissing ass? Since she's more to your liking. Player Circle podcast this Saturday. I don't like to start the show at a set time because, like I said, Facebook and YouTube be trying to censor people, and they've tried to do that to me. So I try to start at different times, but I give you an idea when the show gonna start. It's gonna be between 3 p.m. and 4 p.m. Pacific time. Now I said Pacific, not Mountain, not Central, not Eastern time. Pacific. So if you haven't subscribed to this channel, I highly suggest you go and subscribe to the Mad Voodoo Man channel. Why? Because you're going to get left out. Because I'm not doing simulcast anymore. I'm not doing Facebook and YouTube. It's just going to be YouTube. So don't send me an email talking about, hey man, how come you don't do Facebook no more? Well, if you've been paying attention and supporting the show, you know. Join us for the Player Circle podcast this Saturday. Subscribe to the Mad Voodoo Man channel. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at the Iceman Show. That way you are in the know. So Saturday, don't meet me there. Beat me there. If you haven't donated, go to AskTheIceman.com and donate, or go or download the free, and I do mean free Cash App. And my Cash App ID is $ the Iceman 1906. That's what's cracking. That's how it is. That's how it's going down. Holla at your boy.